A piece of the pie, meanwhile I do more style. So I said and done, I taste the pace and pace myself. Unless you wanted a little faster, cause I'm not a natural disaster, more like a master destruction. Thoughts are standing direction, never crossing the intersection. I'm just into perfection, that's why I spit with precision.
It's good in the hood. This is For The Throat Podcast, episode 39. I'm your host, MC Thrills. I'm sitting here with Steve, aka Big Sam Heard from We're On Podcast, and we're about to get it popping. You already know.
Money well spent, I move just fine, trust me. So much work for y'all. Elect me to be the dope man serving y'all. You can spend your last time, it's worth it, y'all. Cause
that's hard for y'all.
Hey, I'm here to ask.
hurt me, y'all. But I got so
you know what? I'm done with the
for y'all. Once the clients
done, I'm not making-
setting up shop and knocking my competition.
These artists that I want to mention had nothing to do with
removed out of the
skills.
block and y'all cut like to be removed out of the drop.
What's good in the hood? This is For The Throat Podcast, episode 39. I am your host, MC Thrills. I got Steve, aka Big Sam Heard on the podcast. We about to get it popping. But first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take some shots.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? In honor of having my first fellow podcaster on my podcast. You're the first podcast I had on. So right now we got Young D in the background. He holding down the cameras. Know what I mean? So you already know. Let's get it.
Yeah. Ooh, is that the crown apple?
Yeah, that's Crown Apple. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, them shits is smooth. They're nice
That's
and
good.
smooth.
Oh yeah, I kind of.
You want another shot? He's like, I want to cover that shit.
Oh, this is a drink. We're not a drink trap.
Drink,
So.
no, it's not this. Oh, that's what. Matter of fact, when Black Guy was on the podcast, he said, "Yo, I feel like I'm on a drink champ." Because I was like, "Yo, let's take another shot." We
That's smooth. I never actually had that before.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely have another shot. Fucking but shit, we on now. You already know. So like I said earlier, when the cameras is off, one of the things that I like is that you're another podcaster, but also you stated something in your on Facebook on a post. You stated that when you have other or when you go to reach out to other people, you have people. We don't gotta say no names, of course, but state that you should pay them to get on your podcast, right? Is that? Yeah. And like me personally, I feel as though as a podcaster, if anybody should be paying, it should be that person because of the amount of work and promo as a podcaster put in. See, I'm a podcaster as well as an artist, so I can see both sides of the field. But you're also a podcaster / artist as well, right?
Well, more of the podcaster, I guess, right now, trying to do something to let people know, hey, I'm tired of hearing a lot of this bullshit artists that are out there. As a podcaster, I want to change that, and I can put myself out there as an artist, and I can maybe show some people this is how you create music. This is art. It's not just fucking, press record, I'm going to say whatever the fuck because my homeboys are doing it. Right. Me as an artist, I take offense to a lot of music that I hear. A lot of local music I hear.
So what triggers you?
The lack of passion, you know.
Like people basically just saying whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and adding, it's easy to add auto-tune to anything, you know what I'm saying?
That's like the era now. Everyone wants to add auto-tune to everything. Yeah.
I'm an 80s baby. You said you're 80s baby
yes,
too.
Sir.
I'm raised on bonethugsnharmony, like we ain't adding none of that. I don't know.
I know, but I don't. It's like I feel you. But I do understand that everyone does have their preference. Like me, I'm an 80s baby and I love like hip hop. I like bars. I like lyricism. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. But like, don't get me wrong. It's certain people that I fuck with now that my little brother or somebody put me on. Like, yo, you gotta listen to this guy. Like, he's dope. But when I'm listening, I look for those lyrics. So like me, like right now, as far as more newer age, the newest age as far as I go is J. Cole, because I fuck with J. Cole heavy because he got bars.
He does.
He's a different breed of.
I named my one of my sons Amari because he has a song called Amari.
Oh shit, that's big. That's big. What? So what made you name him that? Cause you fuck with J. Cole that much in that song?
Yeah, and my baby mom, Michaela. Yeah.
Okay.
Michaela, mommy. Yeah.
Michaela. Okay. That's what's up.
Number one.
Number one. Okay, yeah, you got clarified.
The conversation that we were having.
Yeah, conversation I've heard
about that. But we're no longer together. but I'm still trying to be there for Samuel.
Right.
His name's Samuel Omari.
That's
Monreal. He's a Sam as well, so he's Sam too.
So like for the people that's like just trying to get clarification, see what we talking about, because we kind of talking to code now. He's saying his number one because he was in a poly, right?
Yeah.
Right, poly relationship.
We were, yeah.
And I mean, he's the first person that told me that he was in a poly that said it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. And see me, like as a typical, like I would say typical guy, if like just being in a relationship with one woman is hard to handle. Imagine two.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like for people that don't know me, I'm a local podcaster here in the city of San Antonio. I'm also a third generation river rat.
What you mean by that?
For that is for people that work downtown on the river walk. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a river rat. You work at restaurants. You work at the bars. You work at the hotel. My grandpa. In 1968, he worked at the Hilton Plaza del Rio, and he helped open that hotel in 1968 when it was the World's Fair. He was a bellsman there, and actually when the
I see why I said third generation. Makes sense now.
There was a monorail that derailed during the World's Fair. My grandpa was actually one of the guys that went and ran and helped save some people.
Oh wow!
And the news with the cameras and
shout out to the G-Pop.
That they were trying to get him on camera and be like, "Hey, we want to record you." My grandpa was like, "I'm supposed to be at work."
That's funny as hell. Like, damn, that's how humble he sounded. Like, imagine that you save people and helping people out. And you're like, nah, I got to be at work.
And so my grandpa and my dad, he's an architect now, but he used to be a DJ, and he used to DJ at a bar.
And this is your father, you said?
Yeah, my pops. He's an architect, and shout out to our pops. So he and he used to DJ there on the Riverwalk. That's his second, and then me, I came around in like 2001 on the Riverwalk. Okay. You dad wants some DJing yourself, like pops, or nah, man. I wish. I wish. I like the sound. You know what I'm saying? I never owned any equipment, so I was never to actually like. But I wish that. Was he like hip hop?
Nah. Or what type of music did he DJ?
My dad. Oh, I don't know what he would DJ, to be honest. Maybe like
wait a minute. You look surprised.
Whatever you listen to when you're doing cocaine.
Oh, okay. So some push it to
like around type shit like in
some Scarface
like
type
in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Early 90s. Okay.
It's early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s type stuff.
Late 80s, early 90s.
So
that's the type of music that come up to my head, like or some boom, boom, boom.
I don't know what he would do. That's a good question. I'm asking when I see it.
Right. See, that's why I like doing podcasts too. Like even me, when I'm in the podcast, I feel like I ask questions that I would never ask outside of the podcast. Like do you feel like that as a podcaster? Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, like some people don't understand. Some people think that it's just a live. You know what I'm saying? Me in particular, because I go live on my Facebook all the time, and I don't have any like. What I see now, I dig it. I like the way that you put your show together.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully like other podcasters that, let's say, like that do things differently, maybe they would appreciate like the way like they come by and they see what I do and they're like, man, you know what? It's different, but it's all the same thing.
Right. You know and I do I respect that, and I respect you going live as well. Like I said on your podcast when you were on this morning, I was saying like you might motivate me to start going live on Facebook. Like I said earlier off the camera, the first time technically live was on TikTok. Yeah. I would say when Blackout was on. Shout out to Blackout. Yeah, shout out to Blackout. You already know. Episode, what was it on? Let's see what episode. It's a couple episodes ago, but you gotta check that out. So I was on. So we was on the TikTok, went live. It's just like the focusing on talking to the audience in the TikTok, but also talking to the camera and then talking to the guests. But you made a good point when you said to get a moderator to have them talk to the people on whatever, I guess, platform that is. That's actually a smart move. I might start doing that. Yeah, it's not going to be hard for you to get a moderator because you have people already supporting you. Yeah, definitely. Put it out there. They're going to be like, hey, I'm down, because then they know
they're part of the Thrill team. You know
Hell
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
No, hell yeah. Hell
you know,
yeah.
and I see you got my guy right here behind the lens.
Yeah, young D in the building.
You're doing the thing, you know.
Hell yeah. Little by little, man.
It's the whole progression of things. Yeah. You know, like me right now, I feel weird because
why is that?
I'm used to having a little thing where it says who's watching and this and that.
we probably about to take a pause and bring a live audience just so we can have it.
I want to get on the live, just
I want to go on live,
But it's really fun, you know. For let's say we get a lot of people that are artists and they have their own podcast or they want to be like, man, I've been wanting to do a podcast because. You know, sometimes it's easier to do things when you have the money, when you have the finances, because you can just, we're going to start a podcast and we're going to talk about this. And, you know, people will watch because you're already a known person.
Right.
Me, myself, you know, I came out just, it's COVID. Like you were talking about the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I never was like anybody, like an artist already. Nobody would know my name, just friends, family, you know, friends, family. My boneheads, you know, people. I'm a huge Bonezone Harmony fan.
Let's talk about that. Because like I said earlier, I was confused at first because I seen they said we're on podcast, and then you're like in the Bonezone. So when I went to share it, I'm like, all right, we're on podcast. I think Sen was on, and I shared that podcast. Shout out to Sen too. I fuck with him. Yeah. When I posted that and then I saw you on the podcast said this is the Bonezone. I'm like, damn, did I say the wrong name? Like, am I tripping? Because I'm pretty sure I saw we're on podcast. Yeah. But then you want to explain to the audience a little bit about that?
Well, for everything, you know, when I started off, it was just my name, Big Sam Heard Podcast, and the Bonezone. It is just where I shoot
the atmosphere.
Well, the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm a huge Bonezone Harmony fan. I collect memorabilia. My dad, he collects memorabilia as well. He always gives me the Bonezone Harmony stuff because he doesn't know who Bonezone Harmony is, but he knows how much I care for him.
Right.
So he makes me these frames, and I have memorabilia in my background, kind of like, you know, just the ambiance, whatnot.
So let's bring it back. Like, when was the first time like you got into the Bone Thugs like fan phase? Like, when did that come about?
Like. Oh man, I've been a fan since Bonezone Harmony ever since like maybe like early '95.
Give me a song.
Creeping on a Come Up. You know,
so like what was the song that was the song that you was like, this is
no.
Like what gave you that push?
It was No Surrender.
No Surrender. Okay, and then
that was my shit. No Surrender. My favorite was with Notorious Thugs and.
Yo, I fuck with this. When you got the behind the scenes cameraman jumping in, that's he excited about it.
Notorious Thugs,
that's some good shit.
When Biggie killed that shit trying to imitate what they was doing,
yeah,
it was it was a hit. You got a hit on your hands.
Yeah,
you got
that's crazy. You mentioned that song because now even that song is still getting sampled. Because Fast and Furious is coming out with their new movie.
Yeah, it was Fast 10, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
And they sampled that on their newest, trailer.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't
watch it. And
I don't think I've seen it.
I watched it. I get chills just thinking about it because you hear that song, you're like, oh shit, that's Notorious Thugs.
Oh yeah, it brings it back.
So
it brings you like, damn.
I'm like, Bonezone Harmony is still relevant.
Right? No, they are. Matter of fact, they see the verses. How do you feel about the verses? What was your favorite part of the verse? Oh, no, my bad.
My bonehead heads get so mad.
Why?
Because 3-6 killed it, yo.
Oh, okay.
3-6 killed
it. Shout out to his bonehead.
3-6 Mafia had Pyro. 3-6 Mafia brought a Lil Wayne.
You know what?
3-6 Mafia. You know, they paid their way through.
That's how you know this guy's real though.
But you gotta get
my bone. They do their thing. You know what I'm saying? But people are gonna be like, you know, Bones over here harmonizing, singing, and I understand. Oh, rest in peace to Gangsta Boo. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo, dancing around while Busy Bones.
It looked like the camera went up.
No.
You know, while Busy Bones still singing. I understand all that stuff. Well, Busy Bones through the bottle. I understand why he got mad, but. It seemed like the crowd, and me personally watching it live, I was like, man, fuck, 3-6 got Pyro, they're doing all this stuff, and Bone Thugs, for me as a fan, I was like, man, come on, Bone Thugs, he could have, you know, I understand they had like Little John come out on their side.
Right.
And they had, you know, this and that, but, bro, hey.
What do you think about the beef?
They had Taraji.
Little beef.
Man,
Do you think that was staged or you think that was real?
Oh, with the throwing the bottle of the water? No, that was real. That's Busy Bone.
He said that's fucking real. Yeah.
You know that nigga get hot all the damn time.
I love Busy Bone, you know. Crazy Bone walked off a stage as soon as he did that.
Didn't need that shit.
Here he was like, oh man,
he said,
You fumbled the bag.
But
he even said it.
Me personally, because I love.
I honestly think that kind of made it more like of the bag.
It did. More people watched
publicity.
That.
Yeah, publicity.
People watch that. Like they say, no bad publicity is
right. Bad publicity is good publicity. Wait, it is a word. We're gonna figure that shit out.
No publicity is bad publicity. I think.
No. Oh, no publicity. No, you're right. No publicity is bad publicity. Any type of publicity.
Who knows?
Yeah, some shit. Put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, we don't got comments. We're not live on YouTube. But we put it in the comments on YouTube when you see the shit.
Yeah. But I was on 3-6. I just don't know why. That energy, I like that. I think their choice of songs that Bone Thugs did could have probably changed. They should have called some audibles.
Like what when they heard their songs and heard what they were doing?
They should have called some audibles.
That's a good way to put it.
So, who do you think that is better, Twister or Bone Thugs?
Come on, man. Come on, man. He gonna say Bone. He just told you.
I'm gonna say Bone because I'm always gonna choose 1 over 5.
Okay, so
if I have to pick personally, like a member of Bone Thugs and Harmony,
okay, yeah.
Over, of course, I would say Twista is better than a Wishbone. You know what I'm saying? As much as I love my Wish, but Busy.
So, how do you feel about Do or Die?
Are both better than Twista. I love Do or Die. I
always
wanted to ride in the back seat of a caddy just so I could sing that song. That's funny. Chop it up with Do or Die. But right now we're chopping it up with Thrills.
Chopping it up for the Throw Podcast. You already know. I'm enjoying the moment. It's good to have another podcaster on.
Yeah, it is.
We can see eye to eye. And shout out to Young D, man. He in the background doing his thing too. You already know. I wanted to ask you, like, I know we talking about the podcasting thing, but you want to get into music too, right? Or
man.
So tell me, like, I know you said earlier off camera, you saying something about you dropped the track. Now is that like on anything, Spotify, SoundCloud, anything?
Well, what I did was I went to, you know, as a kid, you always have ambitions. You always want to do this, do that. Long story short, last of the Cherokees, first of the Hurricanes, you know, when we went to Sam Houston, and we, you know, felt that music scene that was already going on there. Shout out to Blackout, all of 15.5. You know, and when you see stuff, you're like, man, you sometimes want to be a part of things.
Right.
And even when you already have the ability to create stuff, then I was writing poems, really, you know. I never really wanted to do music, but then when I was like, man, you know what, maybe I have skill, because, you know, it's in class freestyling with some of these guys, and now you see them, you're like, maybe.
So you and Black, I went to school together?
I went to, you know, we weren't like, I'm not gonna say like we sat at the same table and stuff like that, but, you know, we in the hallways, we did have a class together. Like, he knew who I was, I knew who he was, and you know, it's just like the whole vibe. Like, you know, like the school's so big, there's so many people.
What school was that?
At Sam Houston here in the city of San Antonio.
My dad went to school.
Shout out to everybody. I went when it was last of the Hurricanes and first of the Cherokees, because they changed their name, you know, because they got rid of them.
Yeah, so when you brought that earlier, when you said that, I was like, all right, let's get it to, again, what I said off camera. Let's let people that don't know who that is or what school that is.
Yeah, Black or in the city of San Antonio, you know, local artists. And then like
I think Black was on episode 33.
Yeah, 33, man. He's an amazing gentleman, and being able to just like know a person that's still relevant to this day, you know, and
cool
be
as
like,
fuck,
man,
too.
you know what? I have so much music that I've written back then, and times, you know, in jail county, you know, you're like, all you can do is this or that.
So you saying you was in the county?
Yeah, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
See, talk to me about that. Now we get into the tea. Let's go,
man. We spent fucking almost a year in county jail.
So you and Black guy was in jail together?
No, not in jail.
I'm like, no, we're from the high school to the jail together.
Nah, I never met like any of my like friends and stuff like that in jail and stuff like that. But
shout out to your
just
friends,
in county, you know, just being in there, fighting stuff, a case. Also fighting custody battle as well.
Oh, okay.
Which was kind of hard because you're in jail for something and you're trying to prove you're a good father.
Tough. Yeah, that's tough.
So like, man, this motherfucker, you're gonna go to jail and you're
How
gonna
long
get
was you locked up for?
Maybe like 10 months in county.
10 months.
I took probation.
Can I ask what happened?
It was an arson. We had an accidental fire that happened in the house, and long story short, it was gonna get dismissed. The state was gonna dismiss it, but then my ex-wife at the time, she put her reports and I tried to do it on purpose. So a lot of crazy shit.
Oh shit!
A lot of crazy
but
shit.
this is already this is past, so you can talk.
Yeah,
about
this is past.
Okay.
Either way, while I'm off of probation, what I'm saying, she admitted like, oh yeah, I tried to get that big,
got
locked up, because
as long as you can talk about it, because I don't want you talking about nothing you can't talk about. Listen,
you
fuck
can always
that
edit it. But
see, and that's why I told you before. That's why that's part of the reason because. Why I do it like this, because sometimes people do say things that they wouldn't say because in the podcast, you know how it is. Yeah. People get comfortable, they say stuff, but I don't want people to say something they regret, and I've had that happen multiple times, and out of respect, I'm not that matter of fact, like Vlad, he'll probably keep everything. You know Vlad TV?
I heard of
Yeah, so he's a big podcast, and they say he's like a informant. Because when he has people on his podcast, they talk about
it's like with the Sam 22, the no jumper type stuff.
Oh yeah. So they talk about their drug situation, blah blah, and then these people end up getting hemmed up afterwards.
Yeah, I've seen that shit.
But see, like with me, I don't want that type of shit on my. Yeah, I'm not that type of person. I fuck with my street people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you say something, I'm like, let's edit that shit out. I don't that don't have shit to do with me. This is for the thrill, but we're not gonna put my boy in chains because of some accidental talk. You know what I'm saying?
I dig that, I respect that, I understand. And some people, if they know what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
You don't
know some people like clout. So some people just say it just because they want that clout.
Some people like that. Like me, as a podcaster, I don't go for who's the most popular. I ask my people that watch hey, who do y'all want to have on locally? Who do you think I can get on locally? Mm-hmm. I may not necessarily listen to the person and this and that, but if that's who people want, they want, I'll try to get them. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that. So what's your process? Of artists or whoever you get on the podcast. What's your process?
The process is just pretty much just getting on lives and saying, "Hey, we're booking." You know what I'm saying?
And then and then usually people just message you then.
It was wild because some people for a while I was getting people that every day somebody was like, "Oh, it's a Monday," and then for a whole while I had a special guest every day.
Every day, damn.
Even some. Twice a day, I have a 12 and then I got 10.
For y'all that don't know, he's crazy. 300 episodes in since 2020. See, I've been here doing this since 2020. I'm only 40 episodes in. This motherfucker is 300 episodes in. Even grinding. You heard what he said? Every day.
Every day. But it's different. The process is different. Mm-hmm. I understand how we do things here, and it's different from going live. Mm-hmm. It's easier going live. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to deal with the this and that editing. If the episode's fucked up, we delete the whole episode.
Throw it away. Trash.
We'll try again tomorrow.
Got you.
But that's how I can get away with saying, "Oh, I have so much episodes." Is the content amazing? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe I say the same things. Maybe I play some of the same songs that I played yesterday. So the podcast could be sometimes repetitive to some people. You know what I'm saying? That way sometimes I don't get the same people that watch every episode because in the morning it's a different crowd of people that are watching.
So what made you start doing podcasts?
My mother.
Your mother? Let's talk about it.
COVID, lockdown, not being able to do anything, not being able to talk to and go to the bars and see my people. We started on the podcast, the audio at first, and then I was like, man, I'm gonna get on my Facebook lives, and then I was on the Facebook lives, and I was telling people, hey, listen to my podcast on Spotify, and then I was like, why don't I just get on live, and my live is the podcast.
Right.
So,
I fuck with it.
And then so the audio, I just downloaded the audio from that live to.
And then you start, and that's it. Bang. And this was what like around what part of 2020?
We started 2 years ago. We didn't really get most of the audio on Spotify to maybe like a year ago.
So it's a lot of like
there's some
lost
content,
footage.
Yeah, there's some content that's only on Facebook and some content that's only on Spotify.
You plan on converting that content or no?
I probably need to all put it. It's all under the same name, but I need to find a way to organize it. I didn't find a way, bro. It's just out there.
Right. It's there, but you doing it though. You consecutive. You consistent. Like and that's big, man. 300 episodes in is huge.
Yeah, like I used to have like when the Wake Up show, is Wake Up with Big Sam Heard now.
Tell me about that. What it started off with? It started off as Wake Up. Is that was the podcast was Wake Up was saying?
Yeah, well, everything it was first live in the Bonezone with Big Sam Heard.
Oh, that was the first.
That was the first thing because the Bonezone is I play the music and I started to add the memorabilia from the local artists. Like when local artists come into my place, I make them a frame.
Oh yeah, I see the wall. That's pretty dope. Yeah, so you make a was that since the first episode that you interviewed somebody? Is that when you?
I've had some, but I don't like. I need like 35 frames if that's like I make frames accordingly,
right?
Like how much I support the artist as an artist still. Not saying that I'm not gonna make one from the other one, but some of the artists they would bring me. Some of the artists would bring me like CDs and stuff like that. So if they brought me some stuff, it's easier for me to make them a frame. But it's just a commemorative frame, and for me to let them know that I appreciate you for coming on my podcast. And they also are on the walls with
I respect that,
man. Harmony memorabilia.
Right. No, I respect that. See, like, and that brings me back to what you were saying earlier, how people state that you got to pay this amount for bringing them on your podcast. Honestly, man, I don't give a fuck who gets offended because it's just my opinion, and I stand by my opinion whenever I talk, and I think that's big. Like anybody that like gets on my podcast and say I got to charge them any amount of money, you're crazy. Like, unless. Look, you know what? Unless you're like a big mainstream artist and you coming on is gonna blow me up. I understand that. But if you're a local artist and you're really like that, not gonna really do too much for me, and I'm helping you out because honestly, for me, I edit my podcast, so me promoting you is giving you a heads up. I'm not gonna pay you, my man. Yeah. I'm not gonna pay you. It's no. I think you should. If anything, if you tell me you should pay me. Yeah. Like you should, and again, it triggered me when you posted that because I do both. I'm an artist and a podcaster, and I understand both sides. But me being an artist, if my artist perspective would be if someone invites me on a podcast, that's an honor. And don't get me wrong, I had people invite me on podcasts. You know what's crazy? I've never been on a podcast, and I don't know. I don't know if it's weird for me. Like I always like born in the '80s. Most of those rappers are like Mystique, and I always try to keep a Mystique. And my podcast, I feel like I'm in control. I can edit it and do what I want. If I'm on somebody else's podcast, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I gave excuses, I didn't get on. I never said I'm gonna charge anyone. Like, I respect everyone that asks me on. So, your podcast might be the first one I'll be on.
Yeah. See, like, my podcast, I never intended on having guests on, artists or anything like that. It was that whole year of the COVID. We didn't really have anything.
It was just,
it was
just ran with it, huh?
We talk about life, death, and everything else in between.
And that's the same thing, man. Same thing. Like with me, it was like for the thrill. Like literally, I was in North Carolina. It was me and my aunt, right? It was me and my aunt, and she came to she's to spend some time around in North Carolina with me. So I was like, COVID, shit started going wild. We couldn't go out.
Yeah.
Yo, Titi, you want to start a podcast together? And she's cool as shit, so she was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
We started doing it, and people started fucking with it. And I'm like, oh, this is good shit. And then I kept doing it after she left. We was 5 episodes in, and she ended up going back to Jersey. And I started doing it through Zoom. And honestly, I just started like, I felt like I love doing a podcast just because it's not only like, I like to learn. So like having you on a podcast, I'm learning shit off you. I had authors, singers, writers, artists, obviously, and I always learn that I like to pick people's brains. That's just like the type of person I am. Is that how you feel like when you do the podcast? Do you pick people's brains, or do you like to learn?
I love to learn, not just not in school.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
I love to learn, but just not in school.
Not in school, right?
We learn in the streets. No,
I'm street smart and book smart. That's the thing. Like, I respect it.
I for some reason I've limited myself a lot. I've doubted myself a lot. You know, I discouraged myself a lot because I feel like, you know, I'm my worst enemy, like, my biggest critic.
All are, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like
me, I'm same thing, man. I'm my biggest critic, man.
And like when you offered me to, you know, be on the episode, I was like, oh man, well, what am I doing? Maybe I need to continue to do what I'm doing. Because there was a time where I was like, you know what? I'm done with the podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I'm not making any money.
What you mean when you say that? Then when you say, what am I doing? What made you ask that question?
No, like you know, like, because some people will just ignore, you know, me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm saying like you know, when like to even ask like somebody like a podcaster like me, a fellow podcaster in the city of San Antonio, to be on your.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? To be on your thing.
Right. That's different. That's different. Yeah.
When people go to my place, they know where it's at. They're like, man, we're over here in the west side, city of San Antonio, right by the county jail. Damn, we're here.
Yeah, I know. See, I'm a cautious person. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't like giving too much specific. Like, whoever's coming to my podcast, I do the same thing. Background check. I want to know who you are, or I maybe ask a couple people who you are. Like, is this person cool to come through?
But like, I'll tell people, and you know, and like for people, let's say that don't know, you know, city of San Antonio and the area and whatnot that I just mentioned.
Right.
Like, you know.
Oh yeah, let them know.
They might be like. Oh yeah, he just, you know, they're just like any neighborhood, but some are better than others. It's kind of like in the area by a Haven for Hope. Y'all know what a Haven for Hope is, right? A bunch of vagrants and stuff that live under bridges and stuff like that.
So like we were talking about earlier, like I'm from a city from the hood, right? Uh-huh. So I respect when other people are from the hood and they talk to me about it, because that's like
different hoods.
Like it's every state, every city has a hood. Yeah, and it's okay to talk about. But I was saying earlier, the other state don't know about, like, people in Jersey don't know too much about Texas. Yeah. So you got to enlighten them. Same way, the other way around. People from out here don't know about Jersey. So like, it's always good to show that perspective of where you're from. Yeah. Let them know who you are, where you're from, how it is in this city or that state is.
Yeah. Like right now, like, you know, where I live, it's not a bad area. But it's
and what part of
it's on the west side San Antonio, like that's where our county jail is, and there's, you know, just a bunch of people that, you know, living under the bridges, vagrants is what they call them, you know. And it's not like a bad neighborhood, but for some people they always like, it's notorious for like, oh, that's where, you know, the crack addicts live, or this and that type shit. You know, it's not a bad neighborhood. Like, really?
See, like in Camden, New Jersey, where I'm from, like our downtown area will be like with the most like massive like crackheads.
Okay.
And fucking people that are in the slums.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like, I was raised in a projects in the early '90s in Victoria Courts.
You hear the gunshots when you wake up.
Yeah, man. That's why on my podcast I have a noise with always the gunshots, because you hear it. And
that's something I don't do, like them noises. That's pretty dope. Like that gives it your personality. Like that gives the podcast personality.
But like you do that. Like you can still do that when you edit. Like when you edit, you can add, you know, something.
You're right. I can.
So that's something that also
to think about.
I can't use to my advantage when it does that. So it's the same world, but it's a different way we look at things.
Right.
But still, we're all entwined in one way or another. I like being on different places. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable real fast, and sometimes I'm like, all right, cool. Where are we at? What are we doing? Type stuff, and we just have fun, you know, like talking.
Yeah, you keep looking at that Crown Royal. I know you want another shot, man.
Nah, I'm like, man, let's go, bro.
You're like, bro, you gotta give me another shot, man. We in it.
I am.
But this is Texas. I know y'all be doing them. What's it y'all call it? Dirty drinks?
Dirty drinks.
With the Sprite. What is it called?
Oh, that's with the lean?
Oh, yeah.
That's with lean.
Nah, but somebody else told me it's called Dirty Sprite. That's what it's called.
I think Dirty Sprite is with lean.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dirty drinks,
Oh, yeah,
Dirty
yeah,
Sprite. Yeah. So I'm like, damn.
I wish I had some lean.
We're gonna take a commercial break. We're gonna get some.
I gotta go
take some later. I am gonna get another drink though. We're gonna take that. You right now for the Thrill Podcast. Be right back.
Yes, Big Sam Heard. Right now we're on For the Thrill Podcast. Hopefully y'all enjoying it. Y'all make sure to look me up on all social medias, Big Sam Heard. Listen on Spotify. We're on podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're on podcasts. For the Thrill.
What's good in the hood? This is For the Thrill Podcast. We back. You already know I'm chilling here with Big Sam Heard, aka Steve, aka Bonezone motherfucking man. What's good in the hood, huh?
Chilling, bro. Just living life, man. I woke up this morning. Can't complain. We took a nice little intermission.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I should never had that burrito.
Oh shit. Why you say that?
It's alright. No.
Your stomach hurts?
I'm just No, we're on
bathroom?
No, we're on TikTok right now too, just knocking it off. It was fun.
Yeah, nah, that was a good time. Shout out to
Are you
Sarah.
still on TikTok? Yeah, you still on TikTok.
Yeah, we still on now.
But we're here. You know, it's different when we edit stuff and stuff like that because you can go back and you can see and this and that. And it really makes the podcast a little more fun. I really do appreciate you for inviting me over, having me on because it makes me like see things differently. Like, you know what? Maybe you should start doing stuff like that, Steve, on yours. Like, and learn how to edit. You know what I'm saying? Right. For you, what were like the biggest things? Like, what made you like decide?
I ain't asking me questions. Like, it's his podcast. Now, my biggest things, honestly, all right. So, like what I said, when I first started, it was just me and my aunt starting off. We just started. We always. I think that's the thing. I started off just recording. We never went like live from the beginning.
Oh, that's easy.
I think that's what us just started off. But just to clarify your question. What was the main question you were asking there?
Like what made you do it the way you do it now? Like now?
Yeah, I guess the answer is the answer is we're like we just started off with like that. So I guess when you start off with something and you just roll with it. That's
I know. Like with me, I started the podcast like the audio, and then I started doing video, and I was like, oh, I never really edited like that. I never did it like the way, you know, some people do it because that was just what I was used to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm sure, like, whenever, like, you edit and stuff like that, it's not that we're not live, because we are live, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't go live, but we live today. My boy Peer Pressure.
Yeah, well, besides, like with the cameras, like, you know, we are still recording on the camera, so, like, we are live right now in the moment.
Right.
It's just, like, without the people watching live, like, sometimes, like, for me, like, because I don't have much content, like, to talk about, I like to interact with them. But like I guess when we have a special co-host, that's something that we could probably do like pre-recorded type stuff. That way.
What's up, Manda? Get it, Mr. Thrills. Shout out. Yeah. Again, this is like actually we went live on TikTok before, but this is the first time going live on the Facebook. Shout out to the audience on Facebook, on TikTok. You already know. Shout out to. Actually the viewers on YouTube and every other platform. I'm just trying to build every day. For people who don't know, I got Big Sam Heard on. He runs a podcast called We're On Podcast, and also their atmosphere is called the Bonezone because he's a big fan of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah. And
if you are an 80s baby, you should know about Bone Thugs and Harmony. If you saw the verses, then you should know about Bone Thugs and Harmony. They get wild.
Yeah. And I like to smoke hemp. I'm a huge fan of hemp, mainly because the chorus is nice alternative.
How do you tell?
And because of the fact that
we got behind the scenes cameraman asking questions. Yeah. How can you tell?
How can I tell? Well, first of all, because we're in Texas. You know, so we got to come up with a nice alternative. Mm-hmm. Because until we
are smoking hemp though.
Yeah, hemp is good. It's nice for people.
Because this is legal.
Yeah, exactly. Answer to your question, because this is legal what I'm smoking.
You already know. But anyways, Yo, stay behind the camera now.
We're sure.
No, we definitely positive. It is hemp. Smoke it. You taste it. It tastes like hemp, right?
Yeah.
That's some good shit. Nah. It's crazy how like CBD, like all that shit, just get. Yo, he's blowing smoke in the camera. That's hilarious, bro. That's
as long as you're blowing it into the microphone.
Right. Don't blow it into the microphone. Don't break my shit. But let's get back on topic. I appreciate y'all if y'all stay tuned earlier. We wasn't on live earlier, but now we are. But right now, again, Big Sam, your herd is on. I keep saying your herd, but it's herd.
It's okay. I get people that say your herd. It's okay. Like some people.
What's your goals for your podcast? What's your goals?
Man, my goals for my podcast is to have Bone Thugs and Harmony on my podcast. Whether all 5 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them. That's my whole objective. In the meantime, I want to have as many, entrepreneurs, fellow podcasters, athletes, DJs, artists on my show, just letting people know that we're on. When I started the podcast, it was Live in the Bonezone Big Sam Heard. I felt I needed an actual name for my podcast, so I was always asking a question, are we on? So with the Are We On, that became the podcast, which was Are We On Podcast, and it said like that. I think on TikTok we got banned or removed because of the hemp we were smoking, but it's okay because it's just hemp. So fuck off TikTok. We're still recording, we're still on. That's the big thing that matters. Throughout the time from asking ourselves that question, are we on, John? We came to the assumption that we are on. You know what I'm saying? So instead of asking a question, we decided to make a statement with that exclamation point after the we're on.
Oh yeah.
And let people know that we are on, John.
So was it always Bonezone and we're on, or did that come after each other?
First it was the Bonezone, and then I added Are We On? To give the name of the podcast a separate identity from where we're shooting the place. Where we shoot the place is the name, and then the actual product is Are We On Podcast, and then we changed it to We're On Podcast, so that's what we have now.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. It's always good to see that growth and the transformation. Like to always from the beginning. Like I was telling you earlier, like I didn't have all this equipment. Look, Big Sam, he ain't playing around. When he first came here, he said, I'll be drinking on my podcast. He said, I was drinking all morning. He tasted that Crown Royal. He can't stop now. My boy Big Sam is on the motherfucking drinks now. Wait, what we cheering to now, my boy Big Sam?
To the second half of this episode.
Second half of the episode, you already know. Just for the thrill of it, for the Thrill Podcast, Big Sam, MC Thrills. We got cameraman Young D in the background. You already know. He said he want his drink. He don't want to be left out.
Episode 39.
Episode 39 with a fellow podcast, the first fellow podcaster on my podcast. Usually I have musicians.
And I am TABC certified.
Let's go.
So I can serve him that drink.
You already know.
Man.
If y'all in the audience, take a drink with us. Don't be shy.
I do thank you for the hospitality here.
Definitely, that's what I do.
It's nice knowing that there's other podcasters out there with as big of a drive as you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
With also, goals and aspirations, and that mindset is the biggest thing. And that's something I don't want to waste.
Shout out Victoria. She said that's my boy Sam. I've known him for years. I'm so proud of him.
Oh yeah, girl, man, what's up, man? It's important that we let everybody know how much we love each other. And I always, that's my river rat. Like even before the whole podcast thing and her singing and all that stuff, like the Riverwalk is a place where your family, like throughout the times, whether we meet people as a podcaster or whatever. I remember her waiting tables together, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like there's days where we don't want to work, or there's days when we do work, and then when you don't want to work or feeling a certain way, those people help you get through that day, that shift. You're like, fuck this place, I'm never coming back.
Right.
But those people,
we appreciate you jumping on, showing some love, Victoria. You got to come on a future episode of For the Throne Podcast.
Yeah, she's been on the If This Mic Could Talk. Remember I told you about that podcast? That's a nice podcast. I still got to get her on my podcast as well. But man, For the Throne Podcast, most definitely, I'm digging it. I thank you very much for inviting me over.
Definitely. So, as far as a podcaster, what do you feel as though you need to like show your audience?
The truth.
And the truth in what? In what aspect?
And like what needs to be heard, like musically. Like here in San Antonio, some outlets would just promote people and promote artists mainly because they pay for views or because they pay them or they're popping and this and that. Like I think like if we have like artists that really can showcase their skills and really get noticed, those artists that are, let's say, more talented than others, you know, will really get recognized. That's what it is. I want for those people that have talent to start getting recognized.
So let's bring back the talent. This is a question I asked. I mean, obviously, since I'm local in San Antonio now, shout out to my Jersey audience too, but since I'm local in San Antonio, I'm getting familiar with the vibe. Who's your top 5 favorite artists in San Antonio? Do you see when I asked Black out there? That was a tricky question before, but you're not an artist, so it might be different for you.
I've been asked this question, especially on Talk Can Listening. I gave them my top on Talk Can Listening, and I gave them my top 5, and I'm in my top 5 as an artist.
So yeah, that's good.
King Kali is in my local, and he's my
shout
number
out to
1.
Kali.
I'm number 2. And I got a gentleman by the name of Spider Jones.
I haven't heard who.
Spider Jones.
I'm new here.
Spider Jones.
Talk to my audience that doesn't know about.
Besides his music, he's a local Hispanic artist. His drive is this biggest thing that inspires me because he's out there hustling out at the corner stores, at the flea markets on the weekends. He's the one selling those CDs still. You know what I'm saying? He's popping up on all these local shows, big shows that people are you know, these artists are headlining. He's popping up. He is with Merch Gang. Shout out to Merch Gang, everybody out there, Big Cree, and a bunch of stuff, you know, Paranoid Records, a bunch of local people that are doing their things, but his main thing is, you know, he's out there at one of our local flea markets, out there, you know, selling their CDs and merch and trinkets and novelty type stuff. So the hustle is what really got me on there. I got Northwest Rider. He's a local artist as well.
That's what, 4 now? That's 4? That's number 4?
Yeah, that's number 4, you know.
So far it's Kali, you, Big Cree. That was the third one? Big Cree?
No, not Big Cree. Big Cree's a good artist, but
he's not in your top 5?
He's not in my top 5. No.
Alright.
No offense, Big Cree, but Spider Jones is in my top 5.
Alright, he's 4. Alright, who's the 5th?
I got Lil Yoda.
I fuck with his fucking
that's my
marijuana song.
Yeah, like
all we smoke is gas.
Yeah, that shit go hard.
That's my
this
nigga,
is
man.
hemp, but it's some hemp. It's
right,
gas
this
hemp.
is Texas, so this is hemp.
It's some gas hemp. But I got those 4 gentlemen. I throw myself in there because I believe, and as an artist, we're supposed to believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you always go for yourself.
Lyrically, I don't do the metaphors. I don't relate to this and that. I just talk about life.
Gotcha.
You know, I talk about
real shit.
What I feel like needs to be heard. You want to hear something?
Yeah, spit some shit. Let's go.
All right.
Spit it for the audience right there listening. What we got?
This is off of a song. It's called Steven Monreal, my name.
Okay.
All right. This is one. I guess the verse. It goes.
Yes.
Well, I know. I know it is. It goes, I'm just trying to get a piece of the pie. Meanwhile, I do more style. So I said and done. I taste the pace myself. Unless you wanted a little faster, cause I'm not a natural disaster, more like a master destruction. Thoughts are standing direction, never crossing the intersection. I'm just into perfection. That's why I spit with precision. A decision I had to make. Take my city with me to the top. Whatever it takes, whatever the stakes. Never to put on the brakes. Just flip bricks and not to mention keep the cash rolling. Say goes for the dank and plenty of money, but not a dime in the bank. The stack. Gotta get on the ground with shot. Take it in the rest of be history. History, my life, my way. You living, my reason to get this just off of my chest. Last but not least, my love, my city. I do what's to that you know. San Antonio, it's home.
Now I know why you like Bone Thugs-n-Harmony.
Yeah, that's
the way you rap is similar. So that's obviously that's a big influence on you.
Yeah,
like you want to rap the fast and
bro,
I
would not be alive if it wasn't for Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Like they really, wait, hold
on, that's taking.
I say I fuck with Bone Thugs, like man.
You said you want to be alive.
They changed my life.
That's deep.
They changed
why you
my
say
life
that though?
because without music, I think as a young adolescent, I would have done.
They really would appreciate that
because
like,
it goes back here right now. It goes back to really mental health issues, that. Bro. Like that's
they need their flowers because
they're gonna get them. They're gonna get them. They know.
The 90s they weren't getting paid. It was horrible in the 90s.
Yeah, it was very horrible in the 90s. But we overcome. We do what we got to do. You know, we continue to move forward. But that's real shit. Bone, they saved my life. You know, Brian, that's Busy Bone's real name. Brian, he knows that. You know, Steve, he knows that. Stanley, you know that.
Like, as far as you told them this?
Their real name, yeah, they know that. You know what I'm saying? So, in person or on social media, like, it's real. Like, I'm really trying to get them, you know, on my podcast and let them know how much besides.
So, if you have them on the podcast right now, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are the best group ever in music. It don't matter if you're a hip hop group, R&B group, cumbia group. It don't matter.
Right.
You know, best ever. Oh, even over Wu-Tang, even over the Jackson 5, even over the Beatles, even over Aerosmith.
That's your biggest group
ever.
I got you. Bone Thugs-n-Harmony.
They save lives every day, and people don't even recognize it. They should be making, you know, more money than they are. You know what I'm saying? They're so lowballed. Like, fuck that noise. Bone Thugs-n-Harmony is so lowballed. And they got.
So do you feel as though at this point they got blackballed?
Yeah, bro.
Why?
Because they should be, like what Busy Bone says in one of his songs. Like, I should be making as much money as Snoop. Like putting his, like, he should be on that, you know, when it comes to shows.
So where was the point you thought they got, like, or
because they didn't own their masters, and because of the whole thing with Bone Thugs, like they, you know, were signed with Ruthless, and the way supposedly Easy did them, like, you know, if they had better record deals and management, that they would have got more money off of this and that, better record deals. Like, they didn't start getting, you know, after Art of War, nothing. They had a song.
That's how it was in the 90s.
Paper, you know, management, record labels, not being like part of the Bone Thugs-n-Harmony when Busy Bone left. Like, I understand why. Like, now he talks about, like, why he didn't show up to this and that. Like, if you're not getting paid,
right, you
why are you working?
Right. Like, yeah,
you know
why am I working?
As podcasters, that's different.
Right. Well, yeah.
That's
but for a job that you know should be your 9 to 5,
you're making money, you're traveling.
You should be getting paid for shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. Or even in a regular job, if you know you're going to work, you should be getting paid.
But, like, now to this day, like, I see the Bone Thugs-n-Harmony relationship, Busy by himself, and the other 4 guys doing their thing. And it's crazy how one man can carry a brand like the way Busy Bone is carrying Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. When it comes to his side.
So is Busy Bone your favorite rapper out the group?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yes.
It makes sense.
But,
we talk about Busy Bone a lot.
But Crazy Bone is my number 2.
Okay.
And then, you know,
what about Wish and Flesh?
I like Lazy Bone, and then I do Flesh and Wish. I don't like putting, you know, anybody 3rd, 4th, 5th, but if I had to go in that order, that's the way it would be.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
he hits you with the hook. He hits you with the hook. That's what it is. Like, he hits you with the hooks.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, even like
he's
Crazy
like
Bone,
the Nate Dogg of the group.
Yeah, there's so much. But when it comes to a lot of the personal things that are being said on the lyrics, personally, Busy Bone is the one that touches me the most.
Why though? Why?
Because of the things that he's been through in his life.
So what's his story that relates to you?
Like Busy Bone, you know, him being, you know, kidnapped, or like being kidnapped, being taken away from his family, being on the.
Have you been kidnapped?
No, I've never been kidnapped, but, you know, been close to stuff like that. Seen people be going through that stuff.
Right. But you can relate to him.
Yeah, man, him being, you know, I personally never was molested. as a child, but I know
He
people
was?
that, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
talks about
Busy
that in
Bone
his
was?
song. Yeah, like,
Oh,
like,
shit, I
he
didn't know
says,
that.
what if I was molested? Would you say, would you look at me pale?
No,
Like,
but
you know,
he says what if, but he really was.
yeah, no, he says, what if I say, like, to you, like, what if I tell
That's
you?
what I'm saying, but was he really?
I think he said that
Damn,
he was, like, you
that's
know, by
crazy.
family relatives. I don't really know.
He comes with the hooks
But, you
all
know,
the time.
and I'm gonna tell you this: when I met that gentleman, Busy Bone, I froze up. You know, I had so many things I wanted to tell him.
And what happened?
I froze up, bro.
Like, what you mean? Like you literally didn't know what to
bro,
say?
I'm right here, and you're Busy Bone right here, and he's getting his hair braided while he's on his phone playing his
And what, you just didn't say nothing?
No, I did, but it took me a while to
What did you say?
Because my other buddy and the artist were there talking to him about who, and
What, they was regular and you was just like...
I was just like, man, fuck.
What did you say though?
I told him, you know, thank you, you know, for inviting me over to music shoots.
And what he said?
Music. And he just was like, yeah, nah, it's all cool, man.
Well, why you say you froze up?
Because I wanted to tell him things that I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I talked to him about how I make my
No, it's
food.
crazy because you like I seen your podcast and you talk
Yeah, bro.
open
It's just
and like you don't give a fuck.
I have so much respect for that gentleman.
It's different when somebody
that-
you respect to a certain
That,
degree.
like I respect you, like you know, and on different levels and stuff like that. But when somebody actually changed your life, and
Right. You
really,
said he said
like, bro,
you
like
life or death, right?
like I'm very emotional. I cry on my podcast sometimes and shit like that. You know, I'm not gonna cry on this one, but
You don't have to.
but if it gets to that, that's because that's how diehard that shit is.
Man.
The TL.
But why would you? Why like what
When
brings
I
you
froze
to that
up,
point?
because I didn't know how to approach him as just not.
Person.
I didn't want him to as a person. I didn't
Right.
want him to think I'm coming off to him just business.
Right.
Like, oh, Busy Bone, I got a podcast in San Antonio that I call Live in the Bonezone. Big Sam Heard. I dedicated to you and the rest of the fam.
You didn't tell him that.
No.
You should have.
But my boy
Told him
and the
to
artist already knew.
Okay.
And they were like, man, talk to him about your podcast.
Right.
Talk to him.
Right,
And, you know,
right. I think
and
you should too.
He's doing his thing. He and I did. You know what I'm saying?
No,
He
you
knew.
eventually did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was I don't freeze up like that. It was just the whole star-struck thing.
Right, because this
you
is
know.
somebody you really like look up to. So.
That's how I would
Yeah,
be if
bro,
I
like-
met Michael. Like, I had a dream about Michael Jackson one time. He came to
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
I love Michael Jackson. He died on my birthday.
Like, it's so crazy, too.
Yeah, he did die on my birthday. Michael
Who?
Jackson.
What he do?
Michael Jackson died. He died on my birthday.
Oh, on your birthday. Damn, that's
Yeah.
deep. That's deep.
But when it comes to memorabilia, my dad got some Michael Jackson memorabilia, but that's something different.
That's a whole other
We're
story.
not talking about the museum.
Your pops? Oh, so he got money then.
It's
If you got memorabilia,
it's-
even if you don't got money, you
it's
got money.
liquid.
Because
It's
if you
liquid.
got memorabilia,
It's
you got
liquid.
money.
It's
Gotcha.
very liquid.
And sometimes you got
and
liquid
we want
in
to
the
work on
assets.
that. We want to work on that. I want to.
If he has the gloves, I'm on.
No, he got a jacket. He has an autograph.
Yeah.
With a bunch
Oh,
of,
shit.
He has a Tupac autograph. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
He has a lock of John Lennon's hair. Like, it's
How the
crazy.
fuck you get a lock of
My
John?
dad's crazy.
He cut off
Um,
John Lennon's hair like what the
No, yeah, nigga. No, it's just
gangster love.
people. But I do want to one day open up a place, a restaurant, kind of like.
Yeah, so
Hard rock,
talk to me
something
about
like
those
that.
sandburgers. Talk to the audience about those
Man, I love y'all, everybody. Thank y'all for
You ain't bring a
that.
burger through, but it's
That
alright.
still messaged me about Sandburgers. It's been 3 weeks since I made a Sandburger.
Why? Why that long?
Mainly
You cut off a
because
little bit?
I did. I
Why?
cut myself off because I want to do everything right. I want to do everything legally. I want to do it right. I don't want to be one of those people on Facebook, you know, doing like, oh, it's like the plate sales set thing. I know
Right.
that's how you start a business,
Right.
but I want to actually like work and buy like a food truck, obtain that, have my name, my own name, and own it, and be like, man, we went from Sandburger Kitchen, from me selling burgers out of my home to a place, a food truck. I passed by where you live right now, and I saw a food truck. And I was
That's
like,
inspiration.
I was like, man, fuck. And it is inspiration because that's what I want to do. You know, I want to change the name from That's Hamburger Kitchen to Smash and Dash. That's my new name that I want, Smash
It's a
and
dope
Dash.
name too.
You know, but
It sounds kind of
besides
freaky,
that,
but
with like the food truck, I want to actually have a place, a restaurant.
like a business, place of business.
Yeah, where it's not just a restaurant, but I want it to be a venue
Mhm.
that if nobody is on that stage, Well, plug in your mics, put in your speakers.
Your story is just so.
It's deep. It's inspirational.
You know what I'm saying? I want the museum to be a place where you can. And the original name of the museum, I actually wanted to call it Pops Run the Clock, which the spot that I had was off of 37 by the highway off of Cesar Chavez by the Dome, and I wanted it to be a 24-hour, kind of like a pig stand. You know, shout out to Pig Stand. You know, like people.
I didn't hear it.
Pig Stand is a restaurant. It's a cool spot, but for local people that know here in the city of San Antonio, Pig Stand restaurant is a staple here in the city of San Antonio.
Barbecue.
Celebrated barbecue, and they got American food. Celebrated over 100 years here in the city of San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of want to make my restaurant like a drive-in type thing, but also a place where you don't really have to pay to walk in. Like, you can just go check out the memorabilia, kind of like a Hard Rock where you can check out memorabilia.
Right.
And we have like sports, music, movies. A slogan from my dad's collection that I say was, I'm gonna say it in Billy's voice.
You said Billy's voice. Billy is what's Billy to you?
Billy is a character.
Tell me who Billy is.
Billy is the character that I created on my podcast when I would
Billy on the boards.
Billy on the board, when I would talk to myself really on the podcast, when nobody would watch, when nobody would support me, I created a character called Billy on the board, and he would answer all my questions, and he would speak for me when I couldn't talk. So Billy on the board, anything and everything, anybody and everybody, and that's just like one of those things. Like when it comes to the thing, like when people ask, well, who do you have? Who do you collect? What do you do? Anything and everything, anybody and everybody.
Right.
So I like to eliminate a lot of questions like, well, this and that. Well, what do you do? I want.
He said, I'm eliminate.
Eliminate all that shit. Like, this is what we do. This is what we have. Anything and everything. And who do we have? Anybody and everybody.
That's dope. See, like with me, like I said, I don't like to follow cliche. So like that's why I'm like, honestly, my podcast inspires I fuck with Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Because Joe Rogan doesn't have a niche. He talks to everybody.
Yeah.
Whose podcasters you listen to? Or listen
like to? Big?
It don't gotta be big.
Big podcasts, like of course No Jumper with Adam 22. He doesn't inspire me, but he makes me want to work hard.
I listen to him, but he doesn't inspire me.
That's for real, bro. I'm better than him. But
hey, he said, "Fuck you."
He can be on my podcast. You know what I'm saying? He can come through and be live in the Bonezone, Big Sam Heard. But it's the people he has from Texas that really got me
like
down.
So far.
Like that Mexican OT, Southside Hoodlum,
Southside, I heard he's big out here.
Southside, like Southside Hoodlum, and these are people that I hit up that said no to me. Because a few weeks later, we
bring that full circle
we
now.
see him on bigger podcasts. Like, so that's why.
So is Southside one of them?
Southside was cool, but it's business. Southside.
So how much you gotta pay for that?
We never got numbers, but I know it was at least $100 a bill at least, and then we get like 400.
So is Southside Hoodlum that? Because honestly, I heard of him, but I'm not from here, so.
He did have a mural here locally, some local artists made a mural.
Yeah, but I heard that Southside Hoodlum came out like a few years ago. He's not
recently.
I feel like his Blackout is bigger than Southside Hoodlum. Is that true or no?
Bro, that's hard question, bro.
Hey, I'm here to ask him. I'm here to ask the hard questions.
I personally fuck more with Blackout because of I know him personally, but when it came to like a event. Hoodlum would probably,
why? Because
of his popularity, bro. It ain't got nothing to do. None of these artists that I'm gonna mention have nothing to do with skills. All right, Izzy 93 has nothing to do with skills.
So what other artists you could mention like that? Other artists, or is that just like
mainly like
is he like one of the main artists?
Like Izzy 93. It ain't really like Southside. I got a hold of him on Facebook.
When did he blow up, though, this guy?
Bro, I don't know, maybe like a few years ago, but he was on bills, like decent, like bills with, stuff like that, on tours.
So what made him blow up? Music or just
I think maybe just like his consistency, his social media, bro, that's it. Social media, what you post on social media,
Shout out to Blackout, but shout out to
who you
Southside
hang out
too.
with, like that, all that shit. Like, you know, like
Everything adds up.
But any day of the week, I'm gonna fuck with Blackout all day long. My boy, I fuck with. But I'm saying like these artists that are popping, it's because of popularity.
No, okay.
Where they're from. Some songs are dope. You know what I'm saying? I do fuck with some of the music, but on my podcast, like I ain't playing a lot of these artists.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't my cup of tea. You know what I'm
But
saying? I like
so
the
what you
gritty
mean?
shit.
You don't like the
I don't like the way that they fabricate their sound.
Oh, so you don't believe it? Is what you said?
I don't believe the auto-tune type shit. I believe the life. I don't like the whole. I don't like the auto-tune shit.
So you basically you feel as though they'll be better without the.
Bro. Like keep that shit real. You ain't gotta auto-tune your shit. You know.
So you think without auto-tune they'll be as big?
Nah, they won't.
They won't, right?
That thing people like D-Baby. You know what I'm saying? He popping because he's on that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
D-Baby?
D-Baby, he's from like the Texas, Houston, Dallas area or whatever. He's from Texas. D-Baby, he has that auto-tune type stuff. You know, like Sauce Walker from, you know, like a lot of those artists, they have a lot of similar sound. And I don't like how other artists, new artists, just imitate that same ass sound. Like,
what's good in the hood? This is For the Thrill podcast. You already know, host MC Thrills sitting here with Steve. Tell him what podcast, what you got running.
We're on podcast live in the Bonezone with Big Sam Heard. Appreciate you for having us on.
I appreciate you for coming and being a part of the show.
Yeah, thank you. Y'all enjoy the rest of the show.
Yes, sir. So let me ask you this, cause you're San Antonio, like you're local, man. And like I said, I'm new here. So in San Antonio, who are your favorite podcasters? Like who are you?
Local podcasts, you know, I do watch Well You Ask podcast, of course, and then
what is it?
Well You Asked podcast. Well You Asked podcast. That is with DJ Baby Blue Diamond. She's a local DJ. DJ Baby Blue Diamond live at 5. And then we got T Perry, and then of course Radioactive podcast that was voted best podcast in the city of San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken, last year or year before. Radioactive podcast.
Who's the host?
I know we got Lambo Warren on the host. I don't really know the name of the gentleman. I think it's Perry on that one, but on some of those, you know, like. I don't really watch for what they're saying. I watch to see how they're doing things.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? They're camera.
So who's the third one?
Well, you know, I love you. You'll be my fourth now.
Hey, I respect that. I wasn't expecting you to be everybody.
I love my talk and listening. I love my talk and listening. I love every platform that allowed me to be on their thing. And also, put your big girl draws on.
Lele! Shout out to Lele. We gotta get you on too. You already know. I think Lele connected us without knowing.
I like her personality.
She shared you, and that's why I added you.
Yeah, and she
and she supports. She shared my podcast
her
too.
first podcast she was on was actually on my podcast. So, you know, I like
her first podcast was on yours?
Her podcast, actually, like her ever being like a special guest and stuff.
Was on yours?
Yeah, so she was on my podcast before she ever had.
She actually does comedy now.
Yeah, I see
She's
that.
actually about to be on the show. That's shout out to Layla.
I didn't get a chance to support her this first time that she had at Reggae Bar. But it's still, you know, I love them out there. Skip Holden and a lot of those guys like the Mac, a lot of the local comedians that intertwine with us when it comes to the music, the entertainment, the podcasting, because it is a type of entertainment.
Right,
you know?
it is. That's what we do. We entertain.
We love to laugh. Who doesn't fucking want to laugh?
Right.
And it's funny because you're not even going out there like as a comedian, you're going out there just talking.
Right.
Saying what we do.
Big facts.
But man, it's just wild, and I love my city so much. You know, as a third generation river rat, bro, I take that shit serious. And like there's people that know me personally, and people just know me because of the live in the Bonezone. It is I, Billy on the board with Big Sam Heard and Thrills Cruise. Like for the
Billy
voices,
on the board, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do my like my I got my ghetto voice, my hood voice, like hey mato, like
switch it up. You was doing that earlier too.
And I like that, and I also got my Scarface voice.
So you were born and raised in San Antonio?
Yeah, born and raised in San Antonio. Yeah.
So as far as being born and raised here, have you explored out the city?
Unfortunately, not really.
He said,
unless we're like going to the
tough.
river, you know what I'm saying? Because I know my potential, but
do you plan on?
yeah, bro.
Okay.
Like
You should.
yeah, like
You should.
like hopefully we'll obtain our passports soon. You know, for a while I was on probation, so technically I couldn't travel. But
Gangsta shit.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of cars, bro. I'm afraid of cars.
Wait. As far as like
driving, like being being in the front of a car. I'm okay being like in the back.
You know what's crazy? I'm not afraid of cars, but all of my accidents was me being a passenger. I never been in an accident driving, but me being a passenger, I always been in an accident.
This, like I've had dreams like of me dying, getting killed, like
damn,
like fucking Final Destination type dreams.
That's my favorite movies, though.
As like dying driving or any shit. That's why I hate it, bro.
So you're like, that might be my.
I hate it. And like heights, I never been on a plane. You know what I'm saying? But I know I gotta travel. I gotta get on a plane.
Bro, get on a plane.
You know, my girl and my son been to Miami. So my son, he was like, this was at Thanksgiving, so he was like maybe like 5 months old, getting on a plane already. And
damn, and you're like, man, you gotta fight it too, my boy.
I gotta get on that. I gotta just.
Planes could be scary, but they're fun.
But
I've been on many planes.
But planes, they probably have Crown Apple though.
You know what? Pour another shot.
Yeah, bro, we got drink champs.
Podcast. I put my boy. He on the Crown Apple now.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. He said that's good. Can I get another one?
I know this shit ain't cheap either, so
let's go.
Hey, but
that's not drink chance, but we get lit. This is called For the Thrill Podcast. You're already know. See, this is why I don't like going live. I started looking at the live camera more. I
got all the way around. How you doing?
Live. All right, back. Okay, let's go. What we cheering to now? We're cheering to you being introduced to Crown Apple, my boy.
Yeah, Crown Apple. Shout out to Crown. Yeah, unofficial sponsor for this live, Crown Apple.
Let's go!
Thank you, Billy.
Young D, you fall asleep over there? Mm-hmm. You gotta check the cameras, make sure they're still recording. We might not be recording and you over there sleeping and shit.
Man, but yeah, thank you, bro. Like it's
I appreciate you. You know what? I gotta give you some questions before you go.
Yeah, let's go. Man.
Some main questions I asked. What is your thrill?
My thrill in life, right?
Anything you want.
My thrill in life is the rush of that, you know, like keep on pushing, like, you know, like one moment you're gonna break through. Like that's my thrill. My thrill is the whole drive. Like you
feel as though like if someone was there and they was about to give up, they should keep going.
Yeah,
because that last minute they could have blew up.
Yeah, man, I fucking was ready to fuck this cheap ass podcast. Podcast ain't shit. I need to go back to just being an order taker. Hello, welcome to Whataburger. Can I take your order? Type shit. And never put out any music. Never pursue any of your dreams. Just be, you know, basic ass person. And like, I know how in depth my soul is to just not, you know, to steal from you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're supposed to be, you know, like, sure, we're supposed to network. We're supposed to all the social media. But in person, when you meet the people in person, you feel the energy, you feel it. And when you're in a home that is over 100 years old doing these things, you feel it. Where I live, the house was built in 1884 here in the city of San Antonio. And
it's different.
The energy, it's not like all demon type shit, but when I tell people, I believe in energy. And with the whole Ouija board, I don't really play it.
Talk about that.
I use that as a prop. Like with the Ouija board, I use that as a prop because the whole
bonethugsnharmony. Do you got stories about the Ouija board?
Oh, me playing it? Not there recently, but as a kid, yeah, bro. Like as a kid, when we used to write out the Ouija board on paper with the quarter, and you play it in the dark and shit. Yeah, that was
my aunts and my mom. They tell me a story where they tried to throw the Ouija board away.
Yeah,
and it came back to them.
I personally never had that, but the Ouija board I have now personally, like one day I was moving stuff around, and I think it was just because of the vibration of the wall, and it made everything tip over because I have my Ouija board on the mantle.
Okay.
And behind, you know, and that's my Billy on the board, and he's
Billy on the board.
He's behind actual like board, like where you put post-it notes and stuff like that. So that's the Billy is actually on the board, like a dry board type thing. where you put tacks and stuff like that, because I want him to get his, his flowers as well, because people die for things that we take things for granted every day. You know what I'm saying? There's so many lost souls in this world that will never go heard. You know what I'm saying?
Big
So
facts.
a name I created and I heard was Billy.
Billy on the boards?
Billy was the name. So anybody
Billy
named Billy, just know that you're being everybody. I always pray for Billy. I don't know any Billys, but I always have certain names.
Sign in your heart for Billy.
Yeah, Billy. Like Billy. Every time I hear Billy, and like people are like, "Oh, you're Billy on the board." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I am not Billy on the board." But I can possess Billy on the board and bring him to existence,
bring him to life.
Just like other things in life, but.
Another question I asked.
I really take that shit serious.
Nah, that's dope. That's something.
Yeah.
You telling my audience they're like, that's something.
That Ouija board, don't go fucking.
But I told you, my aunt said, my mom, she said that they tried to throw it away and it kept coming back, which is
crazy. Me and my little cousin, we seen something when we were little. Like, you cannot make up stories when you're like, just. Amen.
So now, another question I asked on my podcast is, what type of advice you could give the audience out there? Any audience members you can give them? You know what's crazy? Because I'm not famous, you're not famous, but as non-famous people, we still can give
human beings.
Yeah, we can give advice. Give some advice to somebody that could have been in a down place that you could give them to come up and get out of that place.
You know what? The main thing is don't forget about those people that always said that they love you. That they're always going to be there for you.
Right.
And they're always going to support you no matter what.
Right.
Because when those people aren't there to actually do the shit they said, it's going to drive you even more.
Right.
Because you're like, oh yeah, I remember all the people that said they're going to be there. Oh, I opened up this shop. Were you there in my grand opening? No, the fuck you were not. Oh, when I opened up this, were you there? No, did you support my shit? No, the fuck you're not. Those were the people that I want to,
God bless you too.
Let them know that, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for not being there. Thank you for not being there when I asked you to be there on my wedding. Thank you for not being there for me when my son graduated high school. Thank you for not being there, because that drove me to be not only that a local legend, but a worldwide something where people can actually gain some type of knowledge from somebody that isn't even as knowledgeable when it comes to anything in books.
Right.
But just being out there in the streets, being out there, like, hell, some
book
people,
smart, street smart.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, bro.
My boy clapping in the background.
We take our life for granted so much.
A lot of us do,
being somebody that was actively, suicidal, and
talk
just
about that.
not fucking help being negative.
Why was you actively suicidal?
Bro, because I didn't want to live my life.
Why?
Because I was afraid.
Afraid of what?
Of success, of being a father.
Ooh.
Bro. I was afraid of
Alright, so
down
this
my
is good.
son.
No, this is good. Now that you're in a better place, like if someone out there is feeling the same way you did, what can you tell them to move up?
Fucking give up. Don't lose that grasp. You know what I'm saying? There's a movie, man, I don't even fucking remember the name of it, but it had Kevin Costner and The Guardian. Yo, if you ever watched The Guardian, watch that movie. Y'all never watched The Guardian? Watch it. It's about, being like out there in the seas. And anyways, long story short, never lose your grasp. You know what I'm saying? You might, your arms might, break out of socket, but you never lose your grasp. Like, just don't give up on whatever you have. Like, if you're like, I tell this all the time on my podcast, if you're a plumber, be the best plumber you can be. Plumb the hell out of those pipes. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, you said, those pipes, if you're a painter, paint those walls. You know what I'm saying? If it's just if it's white, if it's black, if you're painting murals, do it. If you're a producer, produce. If you're a podcaster, man, ask as many questions. Think outside of the box as much as you can.
Right.
Hell, if you flip burgers, flip that burger right. You better not flip that motherfucker, and it better not be dry when it's served. Like, man, you want a nice juicy burger, baby.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a Sam Burger.
My boy. My boy.
Sam Burger Kitchen, baby. We may have not been serving burgers for 3 weeks, but when I come back,
you better bring me a burger next time.
we're gonna. It's.
Oh, when I come to the Bonezone, you better have a burger for me.
You know what? Personally, I would do that. I'm not gonna start. Though people are gonna be like, "Hey, nah, you made a burger. Fuck that. You made a burger for him. You better make a burger for me."
Oh shit.
Because I opened up and I started doing hot dogs and I started doing this what they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my burgers.
You gotta get the people what they want.
Yeah, man. But I think for now I have to be selfish, and I have to.
You gotta do what's in your time.
And I have to do it right. That way people know I'm serious.
Right,
I'm not just want to be with somebody selling burgers out of my home and shit like that.
Right. I get you.
Like that way, my family, my brother. Are we on, John?
Give me some.
I got a brother named Johnny. I love him so much. He works at Hard Rock Cafe. Y'all should go check him out. He's a bartender. Johnny, he's a bartender at Hard Rock Cafe. If you ever go in the morning, tell him, hey, I watch your brother's podcast. So, hey, I watch For the Thrill podcast.
Let's go.
And it's important that we show love. And yeah, that's all it is.
That's always important.
It's all love. It's all love everywhere I go. You know, even when I feel hated and not welcome, or like people talk about you, like haters. You know, I already
look, pull up. Fuck those haters.
Oh yeah.
Fuck y'all. Like I said earlier. They try to charge you. They gotta pay you.
It's okay.
No, I'm a co-sign with you. They gotta pay you.
No, I understand.
Fuck
I understand.
No, fuck.
They should pay you.
No, fuck them. They gotta pay us.
They gotta pay you. You gotta pay
us. You gotta pay us. We
and that goes for a lot of bigger names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fuck y'all.
It's just business, right? Like you tell me.
Business. It's definitely
business, yeah.
And if y'all don't agree with it, just holler at me. Holler at me. I don't care. I'm from Jersey. We don't give a fuck.
Unless you can honor the barter system.
Oh, well, I barter. I definitely barter. Honor the barter system. But if you're just a local artist, don't play yourself.
Yeah. And
what DJ Khaled say? You played yourself.
Yeah, you played yourself.
At the end of the day, this guy's trying to help y'all. He's trying to promote y'all. I'm trying to help y'all promote. I'm new here, but I'm not
keep it going, bro.
I fuck with shit.
Yeah, and I see it. Like, I was looking at a few of the episodes you had. I dig the content. Like, you have fun. You know what I'm saying? And
bro, that's what I like to do. Have fun.
Yeah, and I see Blackout. And I was like, man,
Blackout was turned up, bro. Blackout.
Yeah,
his kids here.
Yeah,
his kids was chilling in the living room.
Blackout
turned up.
Always turned up, man.
Turned up, we had a good time.
He has a frame in my Bonezone, you know what I'm saying? I have him up there on my Bonezone. He was actually my first guest that I had. For real? You know, on my podcast. He came in real quick, did a little drop. But I paid him his respect. I gave him his flowers because I let him know, like, bro, I remember the times at Sam, freestyling and just having fun.
Shout out to Blackout.
But when you look at it as a business, like, why can't we do business as friends?
We should.
You know, people do it like that. Like, you help other people. Like,
that's what I'm about, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's why I said the reason I brought you on was the whole post, this and that, because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they're more popular than me. I don't give a fuck. But my thing is, it's about supporting each other, showing love. See, when people say, look, this is the first time I'm saying this. When I say for the thrill, it's not just for the thrill. It's for the thrill. So the 4 means laugh, love, live, legendary. That's 4. This is first. This is exclusive.
I dig that.
Laugh, love, live, legendary. That's 4. The thrill. You know what I'm saying? Exclusive. This is, you know what? Episode 39. I got my boy Sam in the building, aka Steve, aka we're on the podcast, aka Bonezone.
Big Sam heard.
Big Sam, not Little Sam.
Yeah, okay, can we talk about how I got the Big Sam heard?
Yeah, let's talk about that shit.
My initials are Sam.
Okay.
Alright, Steve Anthony Monreal.
Okay.
And the heard part comes working in a restaurant. Let's say when your food is up, hey Thrills, your food is up.
You heard?
Heard. It was heard, you know what I'm saying? And so it was Sam Heard.
Oh, gosh.
Sam Heard. And people were like, oh, like that football player, Sam Heard, that was playing for the Cowboys. you know, because remember Sam Hurd that played for the Cowboys and went to Brackenbridge, and I'm like, no, that's a different Sam Hurd. That's
I always been a Cowboy fan.
That's HURD. We the boys. It's our year, baby. Yes.
Let's go. You already know.
I guess on the 27th anniversary. We're gonna get it, yo.
We're getting there sometime. I'm from Jersey. So most of the Jersey people fuck with Philly. So most of my people in there.
That's weird.
I've always been
Why would they fuck with Philly and not like the Giants and Bills?
No, Philly's closer. Philly's there.
Really?
Yeah, Philly's closer than Jersey and then New York. But no, I'm telling you. But what I'm saying is, I'm right there. But I've always been a Cowboy fan. Yeah. Always. So I've always been fighting against.
Put a picture Cowboys.
You already know.
Yeah. And
I go by MC Thrills.
And Sam Hurd was Sam Hurd, and then I working out Hard Rock. And one of my buddies, I love John Cena, and I used to always say John Cena. I used to always say it's John Cena, and for some reason he started saying Big Sam Hurd.
Your boy?
Yeah, and it became Big Sam Hurd. Big Sam Hurd. So that's how my name. It had nothing to do with penis size.
Whoa,
bro!
You really do that OnlyFans,
bro? No, not really. I got
that was a joke?
I got OnlyFans, but it's mainly because I just be watching.
Oh, it was a joke earlier?
No.
I think Sarah was in love with you.
Hey, Sarah can get that. But
Sarah was in love with my boy from TikTok.
But like the OnlyFans, I say that because I also had a thing where I was pushing my fries, my fresh cut fries, which only fries. So I was
thinking the poly shit.
Them
exclusive.
Nah,
shit
them girls weren't freaky like that. Nah.
Damn, bro. We might have to start
freaky with me, but not freaky with each other type shit.
Damn.
But yeah.
Make it happen later.
Big Sam Hurd, maybe with different women. Yeah, we got to pay for that.
OnlyFans exclusives coming later.
No, yeah, that's like $39.99 a month.
Some bad bitches though.
Something. I did get one of my buddies who was like, "Hey, why don't you interview OnlyFans girls?" And I was like, "Well, you know any OnlyFans girls? Like who? Like
motherfucker, you telling me to do it? Why would you
bring these bitches to my house and
we in there? We in there.
But that was just something funny, bro.
You know what? I fuck with you, man, and honestly, I'm gonna talk to you after the podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for some co-hosts, even if it's once a month. I think you should come on and fuck with me once a month. I'm not either. I you know, like you saying, time is very, very valuable.
precious, valuable. I look at it as more precious and valuable because like I never really had money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what's value to us? Like value is like anything. Like right now, this is a very valuable moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not really costing. Well, besides the lights we're using, like it's not costing much to actually shoot this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't charge you a fee. You didn't charge me a fee.
Yeah, exactly.
So money is out of the question. It's just about us as people and bringing that energy to each other to be like, you know what? What kind of, you know, people say, chemistry, what kind of chemistry do you have together? People think like you're fucking automatically or like type shit when it comes to
OnlyFans.
None of that. Like when we're as men and gentlemen, you can work as with women. You can work with a woman professionally. You can work with a man professionally and not be on the homo type shit.
Pause. Yeah.
You know, type shit. I don't fucking know.
Anyways, you know what? I think you gave the audience what they wanted, and honestly, I fuck with it. Honestly, this was a good podcast, and it's genuine. It's genuine.
Yeah.
It's good to have another podcast on because we see eye to eye. Again, I go by MC Thrills. He goes by Steve Monreal. He goes by Big Sam Hurd. He goes by whatever the fuck.
I go by whatever you want to call me. Whatever you want to call me.
He gave you what's his thrill. He gave you what it is. I go by let's get this shit done. Let's support each other. Let's show love. Let's make it happen. That's why I brought him on because I want to show love to other podcasters, and obviously he wants to do the same. So you already know. Man.
Hell, I go by Toothless Daddy, El Chimuelo Guapo.
Toothless Daddy.
I didn't name that name. One of my ex-girlfriends, that's what she would call me.
Exactly.
Oh, you're my Toothless Daddy.
She like the way he licked it through the tooth.
And like El Chimuelo Guapo type shit. Like I don't make these names up.
He said, it wasn't me. It was them. It was the bitches.
But yeah, Google me.
You already know. Again, I appreciate you being on episode 39 for the Throw Podcast. It's the first time we went live on the Facebook. We went live on TikTok with Blackout, but you know what? We trying new things.
Yeah. Are we on, John?
Are we on, John?
Who the fuck's John?
Who's John?
I don't know.
Who's
John?
Billy?
Well, you know, like John, like, you know, whenever like they talk about like prostitution and John, like, are we on John? Like, I don't know, it's some pimping shit.
Fuck it. It is what it is.
I've been pimping.
We here, we drinking, we on. Let's go. He said he been pimping.
We've been pimping for 4 years.
Allegedly. This is a podcast. Allegedly.
Yeah.
You gotta say allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You already know. For the Thrill Podcast, episode 39. MC Thrills, Steve. We got Young D behind the camera. Let's get it.
Money well spent, I move just fine, trust me. So much work for y'all. Elect me to be the dope man serving y'all. You can spend your last 5, it's worth it, y'all. Cause so much work for y'all. I know this economic depression hurting y'all, but I got so much work for y'all. Once the clientele popping, I'm setting up shop and knocking my competition smooth out of the box. Till the word can't be removed out of the block, and y'all cut like to be removed out of the drop.
Yo, Big Sam Heard. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that episode for the Thrill Podcast. Thank you very much for having me on, Thrills. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yup.